Stephen, there's a big story out of the NBA right now. Former coach George Karl has a new book coming out titled Furious George, and I know that you've been asked about it. In it, he says some really absurd and obnoxious comments saying that Kenyon Martin and Carmelo Anthony carried two big burdens, all that money and no father, to show them how to act like a man. What was your reaction to what he wrote?
Well, he sounds bitter. He sounds like he's looking for attention. My thing is, if you're not from the areas where we grew up, you can't really speak on that. You know, like you ought to just praise these young men, because I'm one of them myself that grew up without a father and that still figured it out. And some kind of way you got to praise our mothers for keeping us, focused and out of trouble, because it's easy to get in trouble in the areas we come from. Now, George Karl, if you want to go at them about not having their fathers, then instead of doing that, why don't you be more of a man like Greg Popovich and step in and fill that role instead of just bringing it up and trying to bash players 8 years later? You know, it really don't make no sense. If Greg Popovich, he actually stepped in and plays that father role to his players. He's done it to me. He's done it to Tim Duncan. But you don't hear him speaking about what guys don't have and how they grew up. You know, Pop understands the struggle of growing up and trying to be successful coming from those areas. Pop loves guys like that, and so do George Karl. But for George Karl to come back after he's retired and done from the game to talk about these guys, it really sucks, and it shows bitterness, and it shows that he really didn't like these guys from the jump. All his true colors are coming out, and it's sad.
Stephen, well, I was looking on my Twitter timeline, and you got run up on by TMZ Sports, man, huh? What did they ask you? What was that experience like?
It's every time I land in LA, it seems like TMZ Sports waiting on me. But I'm actually cool with a couple of those guys, because they really can't twist my words. You know, I'm honest all the time. So I'm gonna be me all the time. So when they catch me at the airport or coming out the bathroom, my answer is gonna be the same. You know, the players should feel disrespected. I don't feel it's gonna help George Karl sell his book, because that's probably why he said those things, to try to sell his book. But at the end of the day, I always make this example. Okay, George, you said that these guys didn't have fathers, but they made it. Well, your son got in the NBA only because of you. Your son didn't make it no other team. You gave your son the job. So that shows that your son needed you, and you had to help your son. So therefore, when you say J.R. Smith's father, tell him to shoot the ball every time he comes in the game, what father doesn't want the best for their son? I tell my sons to shoot the ball, but what father doesn't want the best for their son? And you can't blame J.R. Smith's father for telling him to go out there and be aggressive. He said a lot of things that he's trying to get out there just to sell a book, and it's sad. And I haven't seen one player on social media, I haven't talked to one player that's defended him that said he wasn't a little crazy.